They may begin to ask you about this physical change that is happening in their body. They may begin to ask you about their origins, the family background. They really want to know who they are. Where do they fit into the world? Adolescence. Welcome back, dear parents. Parent-to-parent discussion, and my name is thozi.theko. And we're going to cover the adolescence, including their subphases. Adolescence is a transition, parents, transitioning from childhood to adulthood. They are not adults yet, and they're no longer young children. So holding that balance is quite important. It's a transition in a physical sense. It's a transition in a psychological sense. It's a transition in a social sense. These young people are moving towards the next level. This is a thinking phase, parents. As I've explained before, it's a thinking phase, but we're looking at the sub-phases of it this time around. But in general, other psychologists have called this a very stressful time for young people, for children. It's a storm. A lot is coming towards them. But the sub-phase of that is the will. These children are driven. There's energy inside of them. So hence the 14-year-old, 15-year-olds are quite active. And they take this physical will and they can use it in many, many places. So it's important that we invite ourselves to look at how they can spend this energy, this drive, this activity. What about sports? What about being a team now, or belonging to a team, or encouraging young people to extramural activities so that they can use this physical energy with the thinking that the stage they're in is the thinking. So when you marry the two, they begin to strategize in a team. They begin to work the social energy by being in a team. They have planning. Being part of a team means that you've got to behave in a particular way. You've got rules to follow. And that begins to shape their thinking phase. They begin to shape the goal setting, knowing that from now on with life, you can set a goal and work towards achieving it. This is the most important time to really engage with, because now, remember, they are moving from childhood into adulthood. How do we support them in getting there? But what's inside the young person is, who am I? What is going on in the world? How do I fit in to this world? So, as I've spoken about extramural activities, you're addressing the belonging part. Where do I fit in the world? Okay, I'm a netball player, I'm a tennis player, I'm a chess player. They starting to have a sense of belonging. They may begin to ask you questions. They may begin to ask you about this physical change that is happening in their body. They may begin to ask you about their origins, the family background. They really want to know who they are. Where do they fit into the world? They may ask you questions about the inequality of the world. It's about understanding this vast playground that they find themselves in, so that they can use the world, so that they can contribute, so that they can think about it. So that covers the will phase, 14 to about 16. Young people are asking themselves these things. And if they are not saying them or asking them verbally to you, they are asking themselves internally, or they may be asking and engaging with these things with their friends. So just know that they are wanting to know who they are and where and how they fit into the world, what's happening in their bodies. They really want to know all of those truths. The feeling subphase, they are in high school already, and it's a self-feeling subphase of feelings, and they're beginning to see themselves as a young boy or a young girl. They're beginning to develop their emotional attraction to certain things. But within themselves, they are conscious of taking control of their bodies. They've come to understand their development. They've come to understand that these changes within the body are just part of their own development. They are thinking critically, and their critical thinking is about the issues of the world. How fair is the world? That is because of the heart space. They are in the sub-feeling phase. They beginning to think of their life planning. They may be doing this silently because they are not sure of themselves yet, but they are in that space. So if we were to pay attention, we could be guiding at this time. What careers are out there in the world? What do they love to do? Not because it's going to be clear for their lifelong careers. It's you're beginning to help them open up to what is it and how they can contribute to the world. They are critical at what is happening in the world, so they want to be ones that bring the change. How do you gently, expose them to that which is life-giving, to that which is contributing to the world, to that which is adding value? How do you teach values? How do you teach self-respect? How do you teach them to respect others and kindness? This is the time that they are looking at. And as I said, they are in high school. There's more to think about. They are seeing educators and teachers differently. Some of them think that they are as equal to the educators as themselves, and so on. So that subphase moves us to the thinking subphase. Is around 19 to 21. They are making decisions. So it's important that we help them with that in a way that is life-giving again, enriching. Where do I fit into it? How do I do it? So right now they are really getting into the nitty-gritties of thinking. Supporting them at this time will make sense in do they want to volunteer in a work kind of environment? Do they want to take a part-time job? They want to generate some income for themselves. They want to take ownership. Even you as a parent, you can go away and know that they will take responsibility for the house. You're away for a weekend. You know that this young person can, if they've been shaped and be supported well. But you also want to give them those responsibilities so that they feel for themselves, because they are proud to be doing that. When they start to learn driving, they are happy when they can make sure that they look after your car properly. Little things like that. They are happy to have babysat, a little cousin somewhere. And they take that and take ownership of small responsibilities. And I'm talking about the harmonious way of developing as an adolescent. But social issues come from outside, and this is the time for experimenting with drugs. They're experimenting sexually. They want to test their own development throughout this adolescence space. As much as they are thinking, they take risks to test how far they can go in their thinking. So when we become stressful about this age, ours may be to say, okay, I've been a young person myself. How do I support positively throughout this storm that they are moving through? The hormonal development has meant to them that I am grown, I am ripe, I am ready to try certain things. How do they do it with your present communication? How do they test what's happening in the world with your present communication? This will be helpful to know that there's the brain development which is happening, the hormonal development that is happening, the thinking process. That's a storm that many psychologists talk about. So our presence is really to support in calming the storms within adolescence. That completes adolescence. Now we have covered child development. And in the next episode, we'll be looking at what happens at school and how we can support young people in that environment. While we're at home, keeping safe, social distancing, and learning from home. Stay healthy and enjoy this time of COVID-19. As tough as it may be, keep yourselves healthy and the children healthy. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Please check the description box below for more information on the program and how to get